I'm Amanda from Mandy Lynn Plans. Welcome back to another video. Today is the final part of our little mini series, the A5 Planner Showdown. Today I have the Wonderland 222 A5 Unstacked and the Common Planner by Sterling Ink. This is the A5 Compact. We are going to go page by page comparing these two planners. I would love to know your thoughts in the comments as we work through these planners. Let me know your preferences, what you like, what you don't like, and if you use one of these planners, let me know. So opening up to start, we have a little title page for each of them where they have the name of the planner, spot for you to put your name if you would like. And then we have some differences already. So here in the Sterling Ink Common Planner, you have the entire year 2024. Here in the Year at a Glance section, the week numbers are included. So July 1st to the 7th is week 27. That's included in this Year at a Glance. And then you have 2024. In the Wonderland 222, you have a key, an index page, and then a couple more index pages. If you're using this like a bullet journal and you want to make references of what page you're using and all of those things, you can put that here in the index. And then we flip, and here is the Wonderland 222 Year at a Glance. So they give you 2023, which is last year, the current year, and then the upcoming 2 years. So you have more years, but each year is less space. If you're like me and you don't really refer back to the previous year, or you don't really need the upcoming years, my preference is having the current year as an entire page. So I like the Common Planner set up here a little bit better than the Wonderland 222. But again, that is a personal preference. So then flipping in the Wonderland 222, we have this yearly spread. And in the Common Planner, we have a blank page before we get to the goal breakdown. Now in the Common Planner, you have a spot for someday, 1 year, half year, quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily. And in the Wonderland 222, here you can see there's a spot for every day of the year, but that space isn't very big. So they smush 6 months on each of these pages. You have a little line for every day and the month, and then the weekends are shaded. And then at the bottom, you have this empty space, which could be helpful for various notes if you wanted to keep track of birthdays maybe. This can be a useful spread and especially helpful if you write really small. Then flipping, we have the quarterly spreads. Now these two planners include quarterly spreads, but they have their own spin on it. So you'll see the yearly index here. Each of these months has a wider spot to write, and there's still a blank spot at the bottom. And then on this side you have quarterlies, priorities, and then you have a spot for January, February, and March. So it's similar to the Wonderland 222. Here you have a month spread for January, February, and March. And then you have a notes section for each of these. So these two pages here are very similar. With the Common Planner, you get an extra little box for your quarter priorities, and then you can kind of break it down into each month. You could do the same thing here. So then flipping, you do get all 4 quarters here in the Wonderland 222 and also in the Common Planner. So here's all 4 quarters. And then in the Common Planner, it goes to the monthly. But in the Wonderland 222, this is something unique to this planner. There are routine trackers for every month. So if you want to keep track of habits every month, this is a great spot to do it. Or other things that you want to track. Maybe there's those things that you only do once a month or you only do 2 or 3 times a month. This would be a great place to track all of those. And then you get a December overview before the month. Now, I clearly have used this for sticker testing. So let me show you a blank month. Here are the February monthly spreads. You can see they're both Monday start calendars. They both include the week number. So here in the Wonderland, it is part of the box. In the Common Planner, there's a little W and then 5, but it's part of the sidebar, so it's not taking up any of that precious space. In the Common Planner, the numbers are quite a bit smaller, so they're kind of condensed into one grid. In the Wonderland 222, it takes up 4 grids because of how they have it boxed out. So the numbers are quite a bit larger. In the Wonderland, holidays are printed. you can see quite a bit of shading. So here we have shading on the weekends, and then we have shading on kind of like headers for each day. And then here on the sidebar, you can see the Common Planner gives you, it says February 2024, and then the whole sidebar is empty. On the Wonderland, you have most of the sidebar to work with, and then you have little mini months. So you have the previous month and the upcoming month. Again, holidays are pre-printed, so depending on which holidays you celebrate, that might be very helpful or slightly annoying, depending. The Common Planner doesn't have any printed holidays. And it might be hard to tell, but there's also quite a big difference on how the Common Planner is printed. So here you can see after the 29th, instead of carrying along the solid black lines, it's just one big blank space. And the Wonderland, it gives you pre-printed 1, 2, and 3 of the next month. So depending on how you plan, that might be helpful, or you might prefer it just to be blank. Then in the Wonderland 222, flipping, this goes straight into the weekly section for February. You get the tail end of January. In the Common Planner, the monthlies are right after each other. So you have all the monthlies, and then all of the weeklies, and then all of the blank pages at the back. The Wonderland 222, the months and the weeks are kind of shuffled together. So you'll have month, and then week, 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 month, week, 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 week. So because of that, sometimes they're divided like this, where you have the tail end of January after the February monthly. I really prefer to have all of my monthlies together, all of my weeklies together, and all of my dailies together, because then I can have tabs and I can just flip to whichever section I need. But I know that everybody's preference is not the same as mine, and some of you like having it like the Wonderland has it printed. So then after all the weeklies in the Wonderland 222, you have a review section and an overview. So here we are reviewing February. So if you want to keep track of things that maybe you did well or things you didn't quite get to in February, and then you have an overview of what's to come. So how did it go, and then what are we going to do next? So those could be helpful spreads, and then you get the March monthly spread. Okay, so then you get to the weekly spreads. Now you can see a couple of really big obvious differences here. As I mentioned before, this is the Wonderland 222 A5 Unstacked. They do have a stacked version, which has even more differences here. The weekends are stacked on top of each other, but for today's review, we are taking a look at the Unstacked, which does have a few similarities to the Common Planner. So here in the Wonderland, we have a lot of sectioning off. We have darker lines here, separating the days, separating the timed section, and then we have spots for whatever you would like to use. In the Common Planner, instead of solid black lines, she actually has the timeline being the daily divider. This does a couple things. This allows you to be able to draw out your separating lines however you want them, instead of having it pre-printed like this. The times are also darker here in the Common Planner than in the Wonderland 222. The Common Planner hourly is not a military time like it is in the Wonderland 222. So here we have 6 a.m. to 12 midnight. We have 7 a.m. to 9 or 21. They both have little mini calendars with the week circled. In the Wonderland 222, we have the start day of the week, so January 8 and then January 14. In the Wonderland, it is written out Monday 8, Tuesday 9. In the Common Planner, it's 8 Mon 9 2. And then again, we have the shading on the weekend for the Wonderland. Then there's also these little boxes that are kind of like tabs telling you that this is the month January and it's week 2 of 52. In the Common Planner, we have a little shaded box that is 1 for January. Common Planner does not include any type of moon phase. Here on the Wonderland 222, we do see that it's a new moon on the 11th. I really prefer, of these two, I prefer the Common Planner, with the exception of I wish it was solid black lines dividing the days of the week and then the numbers in the grid. I understand that she wanted to make it flexible for you if you didn't want straight lines, if you wanted to make yours more of a horizontal spread. And also by doing this, you have one extra grid of writing space, because if you see here, the timeline is taking up a grid, where in the Common Planner, it's not taking up a grid. So there's pros and cons. I love how minimal this spread looks. This one is very rigid and already divided for you, kind of morning, afternoon, evening, and then you have this blank space. I do prefer this unstacked to the stacked version of the Wonderland 222, but even still, I do prefer the common planner with the exception of these numbers as the line. Then if we flip to the back of the book where the blank pages are, we will see the Wonderland 222 blank pages still do have a timeline from 1 to 24. And then we still have those solid dark lines kind of dividing up the page for you. There's also a spot for you to put 1/1/24 if you want to put today's date. But overall, it is a pretty blank page. Definitely less than the Hobonichi Cousin. But on the common planner, there is nothing written on these pages except for a page number. There are little dots if you want to draw in lines to divide your page in half, you can do that. But she doesn't go ahead and already write them in for you, which is really nice. It all depends on your preference and how you're going to use these pages, which one you prefer. Here I have the Common Planner A5 Compact, which has 121 blank pages in the back. And the Wonderland 222 A5 Unstacked Planner has 90 undated pages in the back. If you get the all-in-one, it has 370 of these pages in the back. And I believe they're all sold out, or at least mostly sold out of the all-in-one. So if you want that many note pages, you can buy the planner. And then they also have notebooks that are just filled with these pages, and you can have a 2-book system that way. I did also want to mention that the Common Planner does have a full year version with 370 of those blank pages in the back. They also have a 2-book system where it's 6 months, January to June, and then July to December, or here the Compact, which is what I have. I would love to know your thoughts of these two planners. Let me know which one you prefer down in the comments. If you haven't seen the other videos comparing these planners to the Hobonichi Cousin as well, I recommend you take a look and then let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Until next time.